Good morning, sweet friends. Since St. Patrick's Day is near, I thought we'd sit for a minute and talk about how it truly began. Not just the celebration, but the history. Because it didn't start with parades. It started with a real person. St. Patrick wasn't Irish. He was born in Roman Britain in the late 300s. As a teenager, about 16 years old, he was kidnapped by Irish raiders and taken to Ireland as a slave. He was forced to work as a shepherd for 6 years. 6 years. Alone. Outdoors. Far from home. In his own writings, yes, he left behind letters, Patrick said it was during that time that his faith deepened. He prayed constantly. He learned resilience. He grew stronger in ways hardship often shapes a person. Eventually, he escaped and made his way back to his family. But here is the part many people don't realize. Years later, he chose to return to Ireland, not as a captive, but as a missionary. He felt called to go back and share Christianity with the Irish people. He studied, became a bishop, and spent decades traveling across Ireland, teaching, baptizing, and establishing churches. That part isn't legend. That part is history. March 17th marks the day of his death, around 461 AD. For centuries, the day was simply a quiet Christian feast day in Ireland, a day of prayer and remembrance. The parades, the bright green celebrations. March 17th marks the day of his death, around 461 AD. For centuries, the day was simply a quiet Christian feast day in Ireland, a day of prayer and remembrance. The parades, the bright green celebrations, those really grew in America. Irish immigrants in cities like Boston and New York celebrated their heritage proudly, especially during times when being Irish wasn't always easy. Over time, the celebration became joyful, public, and global. And the snakes? Ireland likely never had them after the Ice Age. Most historians believe the story symbolizes the gradual shift from pagan traditions to Christianity. So when I think about St. Patrick's Day now, I think about something deeper. A teenager kidnapped, a young man shaped by hardship, a grown man choosing forgiveness over bitterness, a life devoted to purpose. That's not myth. That's a human story. And maybe that's why it still resonates. Not just wear green, not just celebrate. But remember that even painful seasons can refine us. That growth can come from isolation. That purpose can be born out of difficulty. From the porch today, I'm wishing you peace, resilience, and the courage to let your hard chapters shape into something beautiful and meaningful. Happy almost St. Patrick's Day, friends.